Listen.
The 1975 just headlined Glastonbury, and this was obviously such a big moment because they have been waiting, almost 23 years for this moment, and there's a lot to talk about regarding the performance. I did a short recap video, so go check that out. Just going through the set list and stuff, and it was pretty much a damn near perfect show in my opinion. But we'll talk about certain things that hint towards a new record, and I kind of knew we were maybe gonna get some hints, even from Maddie himself. He maybe mentioned some things that hint towards a new era, a new album. Even like his outfit, I'll get into that. Like there's stuff to really dive into, but you're probably thinking of one main thing that happened at the end of the show that also connects to the beginning of the show that we'll talk about regarding this new 75 record. So the biggest piece of teasing for a new record was that dogs flash that happened at the end of the show, and also at the beginning of the show we had some dogs barking sound effects in the beginning of the show. I know a lot of people maybe didn't pick up on that, but they also did that at the end of the show with the dogs barking, and then they actually flashed a red text that said dogs. And obviously for me this means that this next era is going to be red. That'll be the color scheme. Being Funny in a Foreign Language is kind of like bluish, and even the merch for the tour, I have 75 merch that has that red text, so maybe that was the plan all along. Maybe that's what that was hinting at, but it seems like this color scheme for this next record is going to be red. And dogs, what I immediately thought of, a lot of people are confused, what does dogs mean? We know that the record has been called, this new 75 record has been called God Has Entered My Body, and I'm sure that has probably changed. I think Dogs will probably be the new name or a song. I don't know. It's tough to say exactly, but I wouldn't be surprised if the God Has Entered My Body title has been scrapped and they've gone with a new title. But what I immediately thought of when I saw Dogs was dog is God, spelled backwards. So I think that definitely has some correlation between dog and God. So we'll have to see what that ends up being like. And I know this album will probably be about like religion and stuff, so that'll be very interesting. And as far as when this will release, I don't think anytime soon, because I actually did a video covering a Jamie Oborn interview where he basically said there's no new music coming out this year, and 2026 will be the year for new 75 stuff and new tour. Do I buy that completely at this point? No, because the fact that they've been they teased a new record at this performance, it makes me think that they wouldn't wait a whole like half a year to do something again. Maybe they'll continue teasing stuff and maybe it'll end up coming out next year, but I don't think they're going to go completely silent again. I think because they've started something at this festival, they should keep that momentum going. While it wasn't anything too crazy with like premiering a new single or anything like that, it definitely is signifying a start of a new era, and I think they should keep that momentum going. And I think we may be in for maybe a new single within the next coming weeks. I don't know. That it's a tough prediction to say, but I don't know. I don't see this record not coming out in the next couple months, even though Jamie Oborn said directly that there's not going to be any new music this year. So I don't know. We'll have to see. Again, I think it would be smart to release this record maybe in October, maybe at the end of the year in November or December, because just keep the momentum going. It would be dumb to wait half a year to do another rollout. But maybe that'll be the case. Maybe they just wanted to say, we definitely have a record coming, but it's going to be a while again. So I don't know specifically when this record will come, but as far as like what the dogs mean, again, that God correlation, but there is going to be like there's literal dogs, like there's dogs barking in the background. So I don't know exactly what that means. We'll have to see what ends up happening with that. And also George's drum, his kick drum had dogs written on it, so that was intentional throughout the set. It wasn't just that end flash screen. It was at the bottom left of his kick drum, it said dog. So that's very interesting. Also, I want to talk about Maddie's outfit, because at the beginning of the show, he comes out, he has Levi jeans, white sneakers, white t-shirt, and then a leather jacket. And he also has a glove. And I know this might be looking too deep into it, but we've been, used to Maddie wearing like suits and kind of menswear throughout the Being Funny in a Foreign Language album cycle. And he did change into that outfit towards the end of the set, but the beginning of the set was a new outfit. This is a new look, and to me that signifies a new era. Like 75 are always kind of changing their aesthetics and changing their vibe through each record, and that's a reason I love their band so much. And I think this signifies the new era with this outfit, and especially the one glove on his hand. I don't know if he was trying to be like ironic and being like, I'm Michael Jackson. He also had like the Freddie Mercury type microphone stand. I don't know if he was kind of like trolling with that. I don't think so. I think this signifies a new era, and I think this outfit shows maybe what this aesthetic is going to be. Also, his hair was all curly and permed out again, so instead of like the slick back hairstyle. So I think this represents a new era. Maybe that is looking too deep into it. Maybe just the dog stuff was really all the intentional hints that we got towards this new record. But yeah, I'm very excited. As far as what I want to see from this record, I think they should continue kind of that folky, kind of When We Are Together type sound from Being Funny in a Foreign Language, the live kind of sound, but push it forward. I want them to push that Being Funny in a Foreign Language sound even further, make it more experimental while continuing kind of that live acousticy folky type sound that they were doing on Being Funny in a Foreign Language. I think that would fit the vibe of, if this album is going to be about like religion with the God Has Entered My Body title, I think that would fit really well. Kind of a folky album that's about religion and maybe America. Who knows? It's too early to say exactly what this record is going to be like. We'll have to wait. But as far as new music, I think we're going to get new music this year. Maybe it won't be the album, but I think we'll get a single, something like that. And I think they'll continue to tease something. And if not, then I'm wrong and it's over and no new music. But also to mention, Matty Healy did say that we have a forthcoming show. He mentioned that. So that also makes me think that we're going to get new music pretty soon, because why would he be thinking about a new tour when we're like halfway through the year? If they're going to tour next year, it seems a little early to be thinking about the next tour, because he already mentioned that, like he already has an idea of what the next tour is going to be like, because he said this will be different than our forthcoming show, something along the lines of that. So he already has an idea of what the next show is going to be like and what the next tour is going to be like. So that makes me think we're in for the new era pretty soon. So yeah, let me know, when do you think this Dogs or God Has Entered My Body record will come out? I don't know. Maybe Dogs is the single and God Has Entered My Body is actually still the album title, or Dogs is the new album title. I don't know. We'll see what ends up happening. It might be too early to speculate, but yeah, this Glastonbury performance was absolutely amazing. It was emotional. It was just, they were tight as a band. You would have thought they've been on tour still, because they just sounded so tight. So yeah, let me know your thoughts on this. What do you want from this Dogs record?